Why don't we start with you telling us a bit about yourself?
My name is Chase Alexander. I live in Scottsdale, Arizona, work in tech sales, flying around in a very travel heavy role. At one point, I was nearly 300 pounds, currently walking around at about 212. That whilst also maintaining a lot of muscle mass, if not growing muscle mass, based on a couple different body weight scans. I care a lot about my golf game, so having the muscle mass and performance tied to that while still sort of reshaping my body was a big focus for me. And yeah, just continuing to grow in both professional and personal sort of lines of light. And yeah,
What would you say is the biggest struggle you faced or pain that you were in that you were looking to solve?
the biggest issues, and part of the reason I did it, largely aesthetic was the original one. Like it felt really bad walking around and having to go like, oh, this shirt's cut weird, or these pants are awkward or baggy, or I look like a blimp, any of those thoughts. And that was the original line of logic. And it sort of changed over time where it went from very shallow and superficial regions for quite a while to, okay, I am sleeping significantly better. I am feeling significantly better. I have way more energy than I thought I did. I don't need to sleep for 12 hours to get a full night's rest or be ready to go the next day. And it became one of these things where instead of doing it to look better, I started feeling significantly better over time. And that gave me a second set of motivation midway through my sort of trials in losing weight.
How did you feel before getting started, and what had you tried before you began?
I'm not going to say I felt bad before I started. I hear a lot of people say that when they talk about things like this. I was always a happy, positive person, regardless of if I was at a certain size or not. Or now, in hindsight, I feel significantly better than I did, but I was never negative. And I think that's important to being successful in this journey. It can't come from a place of misery, in my opinion. And that's what worked for me. It was, I'm making myself better. I'm not running away from something bad. In terms of things I had tried, I never really committed an effort to doing it. I played sports up into and into college at a very competitive level, and that maintained my body for quite a while. From my endpoint of playing competitive sports to now just recreationally playing golf, there was no real focus on it, and my body just sort of decayed off in terms of quality. And this is the first time in probably 6, 7 years that I've made a dedicated effort towards getting my body into a good position and a good shape.
What made you decide to take the leap, especially since none of it was in person?
In terms of what was the ultimate like cliff, I had just gotten a pretty significant promotion that had been a long-term goal of mine at my company. I dedicate a ton of time towards my job. I care a lot about my job. I'm very professional. I would never do anything to jeopardize that. And so post getting this promotion and completing my long-term goal, I had quite a bit of time free up, and I wanted to take on something new. I wanted to take on a new challenge, something where I could grow personally, and it felt like the right time to take on something like this.
Did you have any big reservations before you started working with me?
There definitely were some. The biggest one is still I got the promotion and my like sort of interim development from one level to another was completed. But at that new level I'm at, I got to be sharp. I got to be solid. I can't be going and having dinners with clients, taking them to steakhouses and sitting there doing nothing and not eating or drinking or doing anything like that. So the biggest reservation was, is there going to be an impact to my professional presentation, my sales motion, my cycle, my process? And we were able to do it in a way such that there wasn't.
Did you have any reservations about it not being in person?
No, for me, it takes so much time to get to and from one place versus remote. I can call, I can text at any point in time. The idea of it being remote works better for me because I'm on a travel schedule. I'm not going to be in the same place every single day, every single week, and be able to stop by and stop into a store for my appointment. I might be in New York one day, I might be in California, I might be in Texas, I might be in London. Like I never know where I'm going to be, so I wouldn't want a service that is tied to a specific location. So there really wasn't a reservation around remote status for me.
What was the exact result that you achieved and in what time frame?
Went from 285 pounds down to 212 right now. I started in February of this year, and I believe we hit my low and cracked below 215 in July.
Yeah. How would you say it has been working with me thus far? What are your thoughts? What's your experience been like?
Oh, it's been great. I mean, the word I describe it as is autonomous. Every single day you're on time. Every single day you're locked in. Every single day you're checking in with us. Like there's no sort of stagnation. There's no complacency. There's no like rest period attached to it. It has never felt like you lost any care for me or what I was doing. It was always like clockwork. I'm getting taken care of. I'm getting noticed. I'm having my teammate check in on me.
So how's the reverse diet been treating you?
Bro, I can't eat enough. It's like I said before, like you build up these habits and you get to a certain state where it feels autonomous and I know exactly what I'm comfortable eating. And I had done this for 6 months straight of basically being perfect on my calorie deficit. There's the odd one-off client dinner at a steakhouse here where it's completely unavoidable, or a client wants to go out and like won't go out for drinks unless you're there. And I have to miss on those days, and that's fine. But for the most part, I was so locked in on my calorie budget that it just became natural and what I plan on doing. It's great now, but like my issue is that I'm not eating enough. It's not necessarily that like I'm restrictive. Even if you look at me and go, a guy my size, 6'2", 212 pounds, like there's no way he's struggling to eat 2,000 calories. It's hard when you've been doing 1,700 every single day for half a year. It's really hard to get to 2,000. And I sort of have to break my habits again and go, okay, you can have an Oreo, you can have that extra glass of milk, you can have a beer or whatever the case may be.
How's the workout programming for you?
Workout program's great. In terms of flexibility, it's nice that I can tweak things around. We have our set plan, but if there's ever a deviation, I feel like I'm always able to call you and ask, like, hey, is this a decent substitution, or what can I do with this equipment at the gym when I'm in some random hotel gym on the other side of the country? But the program's been great. I appreciate that I'm not in there for 2 hours. I just don't have time for that day to day. I need to go 30, 40 minutes, crush it, get it done. And that's that. And I think the program accomplishes that very, very well.
What would you say is the one single thing that contributed the most to your success in this program? Like a secret sauce, if you will.
I see so many TikToks of like, this is my exact meal plan. This is my exact meal prep. This is what I do every single day, forever and ever and ever and always. And for me, that just doesn't work. I can't do the exact same thing every single day. I can be very precise. I can measure out everything I do. That's no problem. But I can't drink the same chocolate protein shake every single day. I can't eat the same one protein bar flavor. I can't eat the exact same order from Chipotle. You have to identify as many options as possible that still work within your parameters. I mean, even if you look behind me, I've got 5 different cans of protein because I was able to mix it up. I was able to find multiple avenues to success. And you see this in a lot of places. You see this with the protein powder flavors. You see this with my meal prep, my seasonings. Like I'm not eating the exact same version of chicken and rice every single day. Some days it's Indian, some days it's Italian, some days it's Mexican. I'm varying in chicken, beef, steak. I am finding as many ways to keep it fresh as possible because I never want to look at food and dread eating the exact same rubbery, woody piece of chicken.
What has been your biggest mindset shift since you began working with me?
I don't know that there's necessarily a mindset shift. I mean, over time, yeah, you could definitely call it that. But this is not like something I never thought of myself as a glutton or a slob or someone who's super, super overweight. It was like, oh, when I say my weight to people back in the day, they're like, oh, you carry it really well. You're not like that. But then I know I am. Like I never thought of myself as overweight. I was. It was sort of a denial. I don't think anything ever changed in terms of mindset. I just am living the life I thought I was before. The mindset was always there. The body had to adapt over time, and it took a couple hard conversations and a long commitment to getting to that point. But now I'm at that point where I've always excelled professionally, I've always excelled academically, I've always excelled socially. The physical part was the one thing that was lacking, and I had never really thought about that. I just assumed I find success in all other aspects. I'm a high performer in many facets of my life. Like I was sort of in denial that that was true physically. There's no way I can't be a high performer. I did my 6 months. I grinded as hard as possible. I got to my point, and now I can genuinely say I'm around 10, I'm around 15% body fat. I'm a good shape individual. I mean, the muscle mass. Come on now. Like now, the body has caught up to where the mind thought I was.
What would you say is the biggest thing that I did that helps you succeed in this process?
Early on, the daily check-ins over text message are really, really, really helpful. At this point, I'm not going to say fully self-sufficient, but very close to it. When I am not in a mood or in a mindset of I know what I need to do to be successful, and I need to validate of, hey, is this a valid way of measuring something out? Is this a valid substitution? I'm out at this dinner looking at this menu that doesn't have nutrition facts. What do you think are my best options here? Those are all things where I don't know what the right answer was, or I didn't know what the right answer was. And to have a sounding board for things like that is really essential. And that's sort of in the day-to-day interactions, but more so long-term and holistically, you look at it as there's someone else invested in me, there's someone else committed to my success, and I don't want to let them down. It felt nice to have someone in my corner really fighting for it, really counting on me to succeed in that. It really didn't give me a lot of avenues to cheat or to break or to not commit or not follow through because I felt like I'm not just laying myself down at this point, I'm laying you down.
Anything else you want to share?
Ninja Creamy is based. Commit to the Ninja Creamy. I haven't drank a protein shake in probably 2 months. That helps a lot. But in reality, like my biggest tip, like I said earlier, is find what works for you. For me, I drank a ton of protein powder. I was drinking multiple protein shakes a day for quite a while, and that's what worked for me. But I know some people who can't do that. They like to eat solid foods, and that's cool with them. The thing I appreciated about our program was I was given the flexibility to do what worked for me. It wasn't, you have to eat these specific things. You have to do this specific diet. These are the only foods you can eat, or this is the only scenario you can eat. If I had a day where I had to go out and drink some with clients, I'm like, that's fine. I just have to be lighter in calories, higher in protein earlier to make up for those empty calories later. And again, this is what worked for me. It might be something totally different for you.
How great is life now on the other side of this transformation, especially from a non-fitness standpoint? How did it impact other areas in your life in a positive way?
The funny one is I don't have to be the guy who gets a special ordered 2XL company shirt for everything. It's something that seems minute or minuscule. It's nice walking around and just asking for a large. It's sick. It's nice not having to go to the clothing store and get the one pair of size 40 waisted pants. Like I walk around and 34, 32 is my waist and pant size. Large is my shirt size. I don't have to go digging in the bargain bin to go find the one 2XL shirt or the one piece of clothing that doesn't make me look like a blimp. I can wear whatever's available. It's nice. It's cool. And you see this in like Mexico where I need to borrow a shirt for someone. I need to borrow pants for someone. I'm on a road trip and I need help with something. I can get that. It's not one of these where I'm high and dry. Now, that's like my favorite part of it, but like day to day, sleeping is so much better. I sleep 100 times better on way less sleep. I was sleeping probably 11 and a half hours a day. I always had to take a nap versus now I can do my 7.5 hours of sleep at night and I am good the entire way through. The sleep has been by far my biggest improvement. And then another one that's just sort of a quality of life thing. I fit so much better on planes. Planes are so much more comfortable now that I'm not exploding into other people's seats. I'm contained within the size of a normal person. So travel and my job has frankly gotten significantly easier with my new form factor.
How did going through this program affect your work performance?
It certainly improved it. The fact that I didn't need to go out in territory, and if I'm adjusting three time zones different, and I am on a time crunch of I flew in on a red eye and I need to be ready to go in a couple hours. It's great that I don't need as much rest and I just have more natural energy. It's great when I'm switching time zones and going from one site to another site to another site before ever coming home and getting a full reset and a full 12 hours sleep and rest cycle, that I am not running on empty. I can get a couple hours of sleep and be good to go. Whereas before, I would have needed full reset days, full sleep periods in order to operate at full capacity.
So you got promoted around the beginning of the year, effectively this year. Have you had any new wins since then?
So the funny thing about this was I decided to do it at this time because I didn't think there would be any major changes or anything coming for quite a while. And then I very recently got promoted again. So I have a whole new stack. Um, is there a correlation there? I don't know. I couldn't tell you. But no, huge wins there. I'm now at the highest level within my company in terms of segment and division. I'm selling to the largest clients we have. So huge win for me professionally. I think I present and look significantly better now, and I have a much stronger executive presence, not being this slob engineer who gets brought in, but rather someone who's a bit more aesthetically pleasing, size well, looks good in all sorts of clothing, can really do it in any environment. Whereas before it was always just the big, bulky tech guy in a vest.
So your continued success wasn't slowed down by working in this program.
By no means, no, never slowed down.
How's your golf game improved?
Oh, the golf game is absolute dynamite. So in terms of handicap, I've definitely gone down a couple points. I'm playing around a four handicap right now. But in terms of mechanics, for those who are interested, you can't swing a perfect golf swing if you can't get your hands close to your body. And when you have a big fat gut, you cannot get your hands inside and close to your body. I no longer have that and I can get my hands working in to out. But when you have a bunch of mass here, your hands have to come over the top outside. So it has enabled me to swing a fundamentally good golf swing.
Anything you would say to somebody that might be on the fence about joining?
I mean, once you get into it, you get into a rhythm and emotion, and it takes a little while to commit to and get on the plan. It does. I'm not going to tell you that overnight it's going to change or you'll see it in the first 2 pounds that you lose. Like it's just not the case. But it's hard when you start, but it gets easier every single day. And to a point where I'm having a hard time adjusting back to what a normal person of my size would be eating and on. I am used to eating on my calorie deficit. I am on my plan and I don't really ever miss it anymore because I built up these habits over the course of 6 months. At this point, it's autonomous. It's just who I am. But when you started, it's going to suck for a little bit. It will. You just have to do it. It gets easier every day. You just have to do it every day.
So you feel like this helped you kind of build up those self-sufficient habits?
100%.